It's the NFL on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Huskies and Raiders. All that and more. Coming up next.
Even with all the things along the Las Vegas Strip and all the action here, this is one of the city's biggest attractions. Allegiant Stadium, opened back in 2020. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here, as it'll be the Huskies of Anchorage taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best of the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-play quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has, and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Set to go down week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And no run back here, so they'll bring it up to the 25. So here comes the Raiders. It's down to the field. And leading the back there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
And it felt like it watching a game tape. He got everyone involved.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. When you look at this defense, they really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit,
everyone loves it. So what if every team in the NFL had one as its starting quarterback? Who would every team's quarterback?
That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
That one good for 26 and a first down.
This is an offense that's near the bottom of the league in rushing, so defensively coming in, you've got to know you're going to see the ball in the air a lot. And that time, it's a completion and a first down on this opening drive.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4, second down coming up. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you feel like you can. And when you look at this team, you definitely think that it is, because anytime you get to your own, just give us a couple of touchdowns, we got this thing locked down, that's when you know you're playing well.
And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. And he's going to have the Raiders first down. Able to get the 3rd down conversion. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. It's one of the better coaches in the league.
The big thing's right. This kid had a Kirby jersey on, right? Oh, no. They made him take it off because he was going to do a thing on the court. He put his Warrior and jersey. You know, this is messed up. He put the Raptor T-shirt on him. Look how sad he is.
On second
I mean,
down,
that's the big thing's right.
This kid yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Back to throw. Harrell. He short arms that one just a bit. It's low and incomplete.
Then their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Off the play fake.
So they just need 1 to get the first down. So they just need 1 to get the first down.
On the door, 1st and goal. Operating from the gun. Harrell to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, the incompletion, but now we also have an injured player. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas.
My gym coach got this and quit meal prepping. Salmon with dill ranch sauce, shrimp with bacon Alfredo, spicy orange pulled pork, and countless more.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive...
Usually when we're talking about records, it's related to some...
disappointing, but I'm just wondering, what's the head coach thinking?
Touchdown! A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are on the board first here this afternoon. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that one, a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a Las Vegas touchdown. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Edmonds, he's just going to sit on this one, and that'll be a touchback. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And trotting out there, a guy who's established himself as a veteran in this league, now in his 5th year at quarterback.
I tell you what, when he's on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They come up with exactly 1 minute to go in this first quarter. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets...
And down he goes, brought down a Raider sack. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. Well, just 2 series in here, Charles, but everything's gone to script so far. They got a touchdown on their first drive. Their defense holds, and now they've got a chance to take a 2-score lead.
And to co-sign with you, exactly the start they scripted up. And really, that kind of start, that can set the tone for the game for them.
Off play action. Harrell, he's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
They scored their touchdown earlier, and this had a chance to be another. This secondary scrambling for answers, looking at each other, trying to figure out who is going to put the clamps on this guy, because right now, he's absolutely shredding them.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. Oh, what a juke into space. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A great play there. His first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Raiders have taken a 2-touchdown lead back. Another impressive drive. So they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they've played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. So that drive with 4 plays, and a long run there in the end to top it off. Edmonds, he's just going to sit on this one, and that'll be a touchback. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Throwing on first down. Bonner. He finds his man, complete. It's Young. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. Second down and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up second and 3.
Again, he'll drop to throw. He completes it to Tate. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
He finds his man, complete. It's Young. So he stopped for no gain, and that'll make it second down. Back to throw again. He finds his man, complete. It's Young. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's 4th.
Whether that's a little grabbing, a little hand fighting, by any means necessary on 3rd down, he was able to get the job done in the secondary and swat that one away.
And that is no good. And this will remain a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Looking to throw. Harrell. Open man, it's Mayer in the end zone for the Raiders touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders take a 3-touchdown lead. So, Charles, that's 3 touchdowns on 3 drives, and it's just been an offensive barrage so far.
Great word, partner, using barrage right there. I'm going to add another word if you don't mind. How about perfection?
No surprise that they're leading right now. Absolute dominance throughout this ball game and no signs of slowing down.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Out comes Anchorage to take over offensively. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And the Raiders have got it. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
That hurts. If it was running into the kicker, wouldn't be a first down. Roughing, it is a first.
And just think about the differences between the two. Running into the kicker almost feels inadvertent, just a small tap, so to speak. But when you rough him, usually bodies are hitting the ground and flying all different places. And the difference is 5 yards or 15. And in this case, that's a big play.
Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
To throw on 2nd down. Bonner firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to have a first down, and they get into field goal range here at the 29. They'll look to throw again. And he whips that one incomplete there.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
He finds his man, complete. It's Young. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18.
So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD, and it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we are off to Orlando now to check in with Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We begin in the NFC. New Orleans heading up to Levi Stadium to take on San Francisco. And it's the 49ers who are out in front with that game closing in on halftime. Brock Purdy has thrown a touchdown pass. From there, let's make the trek down to Southern California as we check in on the Chargers at home in Inglewood. And they trail the visiting Chiefs in that one. Patrick Mahomes looking good. 2 touchdown passes. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And it was the visiting LA Rams who get the victory in that one. Kyler Murray a touchdown pass in the victory.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So after a very one-sided first half, what will the second half bring as we are back underway on EA Sports? And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. They look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Young. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and a yard. Back to throw. Bonner. He's got his man. This is Tate. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. On the ground, they go with Young. And he's got room. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 42 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
This has been a good drive so far, and it's been the running game for the most part that's powered them down there. Another nice burst there, picking up a first down. Now it's 1st and 10, as you said, in the red zone.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Tate. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down. Another catch for Tate. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Off the bootleg. Bonner. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side, but for lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun, Bonner. He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need them to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Yeah, still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On second down, they'll run it here. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. Here now, 2nd and 4. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got a man. That's caught left sideline. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. They'll run on first down. Teague, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. They'll come up 2nd and 7. Operating from the gun, Harrell. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's a good piece of quarterbacking right there, because he certainly felt the pressure coming. The alternative, getting sacked for the first time. He didn't like that option at all. Did a nice job saving yardage by throwing that one away.
Throw left side complete. That's Mills. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, Harrell. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
That is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. A great play there. 29 yards. And the Raiders are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this fourth quarter lead. I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Point after, right down the middle. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Out comes Anchorage to take over offensively. Just looking ahead, it would appear that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. On first down, Bonner looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Young. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Looking to throw on second down. Bonner over the middle, complete. That's Young. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. And now it looks like we're going to get a timeout here. We've got a man shaken up. We'll take a break and get a report from Vegas after this. On first and 10, Bonner. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Young. 5 yards.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI capabilities. For more customization, more time, and more growth. Speed up your website copy with an AI text generator that delivers a consistent brand voice at every corner of your site.
We'll take a break and get a
Unlimited unique visuals enhance every piece of content you create. Instantly transform any idea into an image right from the comfort of your platform. And win back hours of hard work with AI-powered emails designed to perform. More conversions, less hassle. Smart benchmarks show you exactly where you stand in the market. See what's working and what needs work, so you can quickly spot your next opportunity. Take your business where you want to go. Oh, and we're just getting started. Go to Wix.com and make it happen.
They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run.
Everything was all here, they do not stop. When the spell was, they were shouting. Why is that the calling of the people? Everything was all here, they do not stop. When the spell was, they were shouting.
And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. 82 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Someone doing something incredible on the field, but today I wanted to change things up and talk about the records that people aren't necessarily proud to own. Most of these will be for individual players, but I did put some shameful team and organizational records in as well. If you like these types of videos, be sure to press the like button and subscribe because we post videos like this several times a week. The first record I wanted to talk about is most fumbles in a single season, which is shared by 2 quarterbacks, Dante Culpepper and Kerry Collins. Dante Culpepper had been the Madden 2002 cover athlete after his 2001 season, and going into the year, people were looking forward to seeing a young quarterback continue to develop. While he did end up passing for a lot more yards than he had the year before, he struggled with turnovers, throwing 23 interceptions alongside a record 23 fumbles. Kerry Collins had led the Giants to the Super Bowl in 2000, and coming into 2001 had quite a bit of hype, but similar to Culpepper, he massively struggled. While he didn't have as many interceptions, the Giants missed the playoffs largely due to close games where those turnovers mattered. The record for most fumbles in an entire career belongs to Brett Favre, with a staggering 166 career fumbles. His worst year came in 2001, when he had 16 fumbles, averaging 1 per game and solidifying his reputation as a quarterback who was always a risk to turn over the ball. Most of the other players on the all-time fumble list are quarterbacks, but the first non-quarterback on the list is Tony Dorsett with 90 in his whole career. Moving on to more of a team record, there are 2 teams that share the record for having the worst possible record in football. The 2008 Detroit Lions were the first to ever go 0-16, while the 1976 Bucks had been winless before. The Lions upped the losses by 2. The only good thing about this for the Lions was that it allowed them to draft Matthew Stafford, who would go on to have several great seasons for the team, alongside megastar Calvin Johnson, who was one of the best receivers of all time. The 2017 Browns also went 0 0-16. But with their first overall pick, they selected Baker Mayfield, who would take them to the playoffs just to get dumped for everyone's least favorite massage enjoyer. The biggest blowout in NFL history wasn't some random preseason game nobody cared about. Instead, it actually took place in an NFL championship game. In the 1940 season, the playoffs culminated with the Washington Redskins and Chicago Bears playing in the championship. The Redskins had actually beat the Chicago Bears earlier in the year and had a better overall record going into the game. They were playing at home at Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C., and nearly 40,000 fans had gathered to watch what they thought would be a close affair. The Bears, however, had other plans, and a stunned crowd of 40,000 had to sit and watch what would be the biggest blowout in NFL history. The Bears scored on the second play of the game, and their defense completely shut down the Redskins. By halftime, the Bears held a commanding 28-0 lead, and the Redskins didn't fare any better in the second half. The Bears went on to score more while shutting out the Redskins entirely, and the final score was 73-0. The stadium was almost silent as the Bears rushed to celebrate not only winning the NFL championship, but also setting the blowout record that stands to this very day. For 80 years, this game has remained the single biggest point differential in NFL history. For this next record, we have to understand that having your own quarterback sacked is a bad thing. I want to make that clear because clearly these next teams did not get the memo to keep their quarterbacks safe. In 1986, the Philadelphia Eagles set the all-time record for most sacks allowed in a single season with 104. They had started the season with veteran Ron Jaworski, but he was not surprisingly injured from the beating he was undertaking trying to lead the team with the worst offensive line in history. Thankfully, they had Randall Cunningham to take the lead because he was going to need all those scrambling skills to even have a chance to stay alive in the backfield. Through the season, they struggled massively. They went 5-10 with one tie, mainly because it was impossible for the offense to do anything when they were constantly losing yards on a sack. In every single game of the season, they had at least 3 sacks. They gave up over 700 yards through the entire year through sacks. While that would be a solid season for a wide receiver by itself, it isn't so great to be losing those yards in must-win games. The only positive from this season was that it really allowed Randall Cunningham to showcase how his scrambling ability to make plays possible. Without that, there is a good chance the team would have been another to get a dreaded 0-16 record. This next honor belongs to an entire organization, and that is the honor of most players that have been arrested. There are 3 teams that stand far above the rest. In third place is the Bengals, which have had 54 players arrested since the year 2000. In second is Denver Broncos with 56 arrests, and the Vikings are number 1 with 60. Some of the most notable arrests are Dennis Johnson being arrested for powder possession in 1983, Randy Moss's arrest in 2002 for reckless driving, and multiple players arrested in the infamous Love Boat incident in 2005. Obviously, no team wants this honor, but I would have thought it would belong to the Chiefs considering how many arrests they seem to have each off-season. The next one is a record that actually belongs to Hall of Fame quarterback George Blanda. In 1962, he was playing for the Houston Oilers, and while he passed for 2,800 yards and 27 touchdowns, none of that made up for the fact that he had thrown an NFL record 42 interceptions in one season. During this season, he actually had 2 separate games with 6 interceptions, but somehow managed to hang on to his starting role through the season. His best game of the entire season came from a win over the New York Titans, where he had 3 touchdowns paired with 3 interceptions. While he did go on to have a Hall of Fame career, there's no denying that this season was the definition of an absolute train wreck. The 1979 Chiefs were a fine team when looking at them from a bird's eye view. They went 7-9 while missing the playoffs. But that sounds like a pretty mid overall record. When you start to dive into the numbers, however, it's clear that their offense was a total mess. They cycled through several quarterbacks and none of them were able to provide anything in the way of performance. Their entire season was a disaster in the passing game, with the team only totaling 1,600 passing yards combined. The Chiefs were in a rough spot as a franchise during this era, and their mediocrity was not going to be replaced for several years. While the team had drafted Steve Fuller that year to potentially fill the hole, he was not good enough to fix anything wrong with the franchise. The Bills hold a record most NFL fans are familiar with, and it's also one I don't think will ever be broken within our lifetimes. They were an absolute powerhouse through the early 90s, every year being at the top of the list for potential favorites for a championship. With Jim Kelly leading a high-powered offense and an elite defense, they won 4 straight AFC championship games, which is a great record, but they proceeded to lose every single Super Bowl appearance they ever had after. For 4 straight years, they ended up runner-ups and were never able to cross the threshold. Their first Super Bowl loss was a heartbreaking 20-19 loss to the New York Giants, where Jim Kelly would lead a potential game-winning drive that put the game in the hands of Bills kicker Scott Norwood. Norwood had been a solid kicker all year, and many thought he would be able to easily close out the game with a last-second field goal. Famously, the kick sailed wide right, and the Giants watched the time fade out as they became champions of the NFL. This was crushing for the Bills, but in the 1991 Super Bowl, they would lose by 7 points to the Redskins. Going into 1992, no one thought they could go to a 3rd straight Super Bowl, but they beat the odds. While they made it back to the Super Bowl, they were absolutely obliterated by the Cowboys, who beat them handily with a final score of 52-17. In 1993, they returned back to the Super Bowl once again, but they had a rematch with the Cowboys, who handily beat them again. After that, they failed to return to the Super Bowl again, and the potential dynasty had to return to Buffalo completely empty-handed. No one has ever even been to 4 straight Super Bowls since, which shows that they weren't just some overrated team fluking their way there. They just were choke artists of the highest level. Sticking with the Bills, they also own one more record that is pretty embarrassing. They are the only NFL team that has ever lost a matchup to a CFL team. In August of 1961, the Bills played the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which are located just across the border in Canada. Usually when NFL and CFL teams meet, the American League beat the brakes off their northern competition. But on this day, the Bills would manage to be bested 38-21. That game has remained the only loss the NFL has ever taken at the hands of the CFL. However, in the modern era, those exhibition games aren't played anymore, meaning the Bills likely get to hang on to this record for all of eternity. Speaking of great teams that couldn't get across the finish line, the Bills at least managed to get to the Super Bowl and lose. The 2010 Chargers looked absolutely elite on paper. They had Phillip Rivers in his prime, with Darren Sproles and a rookie Ryan Matthews making up the backfield, with Eric Weddle making impact on the defensive side of the ball. Through the season, they managed to have the #1 ranked offense and defense when it came to yards gained and yards allowed. In theory, having the #1 offense and defense should have led to at least a 12-4 record. After all, if you can score more than anyone alongside stopping them from scoring, that sounds like a recipe for wins. However, somehow the Chargers got the #1 ranked offense and defense just to miss the playoffs entirely. They had lost 5 of their first 7 games due to whiff plays by the special teams unit, causing them to lose by a single field goal. They did go on a great run down the stretch, winning 7 of their last 9 games, but it wasn't enough to clinch the division as the Chiefs went 10-6, which gave them control of the
When there's a strong connection between a therapist and a client, it's transformative. You can see when they come to the session, just the difference, the excitement in their eyes because it's worked for them.
By the time a client meets with me, BetterHelp.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the solution actually work? Bro, you get a month for free. It's free. You can get 1 month.
AFC West. The wildcard spots that year went to the Ravens and Packers, who both had a better overall record despite weaker offenses and defenses. The Chargers were the first team since the 1996 Packers to miss the playoffs despite having the #1 offense and defense in the league that same year. The AFC West has been home to a lot of struggles over the years, and another crazy one belongs to the 2014 Chiefs. We know they have one of the worst passing seasons on record already, but this year was somehow almost as bad. While they did manage to get more yards out of their quarterbacks, over the entirety of a 16-game season, they had a total of 0 touchdowns thrown to wide receivers. All of their passing touchdowns came either from Alex Smith throwing to tight ends like Travis Kelce or running backs out of the backfield like Jamal Charles. What is most surprising about this is that their receiver room wasn't amazing, but it wasn't like they were totally devoid of talent. The Chiefs had Dwayne Bowe still on the roster, and the season before he had 5 touchdowns on the year. In 2014, he did manage to have 750 yards, but couldn't get into the end zone. Alex Smith threw 15 touchdown passes over the course of the whole season, with all of them going to Travis, Jamal Charles, Anthony Pisano, and Niles Davis. The one benefit of this season is that it really kicked the Chiefs organization into high gear when it came to their rebuild, and it was the last season in the last 10 years where they haven't at least made the playoffs. They're in the middle of a dynasty now, and this was the year that really kicked that off. Next up, I wanted to talk about the teams that have the worst records in conference championship games. Nothing is worse than getting one game away from the Super Bowl and losing. You get a bad draft pick, and you don't even get the glory of saying you played on the biggest stage in football. Currently in the NFC, the 49ers hold the record for most losses in a conference championship game with 11. While they do have a total of Super Bowls overall, they are a shocking 8-11 in conference championship games. Most recently, they actually went to 3 straight conference championship games and only managed to win 1. In the AFC, the honor of most conference losses goes to the Steelers, who have 8 losses and 8 wins. I will say at least the 49ers have been playing in conference championship games lately. The Steelers seem really content with being knocked out in the first or second round of the playoffs for almost a decade now. 2016 was their last conference championship appearance, where they were beaten by the Patriots on their way to have one of the greatest comebacks in Super Bowl history against the Falcons. Next up is Brandon Browner, who had spent 4 seasons in the CFL before making the jump to the NFL as a cornerback. Brandon was fine on coverage, but he had one glaring issue, and that was constant penalties. Over the course of his 5 seasons, he was constantly in the top 5 for most penalized player every season. His career had a staggering 69 penalties, resulting in a loss of 600 yards. While most years he was second or third in terms of overall penalties, the biggest reason his career came to a close was what happened in 2015. In 2015, Brandon had made his way to the New Orleans Saints, where he had become a starting corner. The issue was that over the course of that season, he broke the NFL.
Only one bullet at the division. It's not you, it's not Timmy, and it's sure as heck ain't bad. Oh.